Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nancy Pizzato, and I am your town clerk. Welcome to the inaugural meeting for the 2018 to 2022 Town of Pelham Municipal Council. Thank you all. Thank you for joining us as we celebrate this milestone event in our beautiful Meridian Community Center. I would also like to take a moment to thank our very talented musicians, glissandi harp and violin duo, for their remarkable musical offerings. We look forward to hearing more from them during the post-ceremony reception. I would ask that everyone please silence your cell phones. Prior to the formal portion of this evening's agenda, there are a few housekeeping matters that I would like to mention. The main exit is to your rear. We have additional exits to your left. There is also an exit to the right here, which goes out onto the walking track. And now, ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the provisions of Section 230 and 232 of the Municipal Act, I see that we have quorum, and I officially call this inaugural meeting of the Town of Pelham 2018 to 2022 term of council to order. The ceremony will begin with a processional led by Pelham's award-winning 613 Royal Canadian Army Cadets. They will be accompanied by our local piper, James Carnegie. Thank you to these fine young people for your leadership and for lending yourselves to our inaugural event. I will ask all who are able to stand for the processional to remain standing as we listen to the beautiful harmonies of the E.L. Crosley Choral Ensemble. They will present their beautiful harmonies for our national anthem. The invocation by the Venerable Reverend Dr. John Corse will then follow. Ladies and gentlemen, for those who are able, please stand. Thank you. Please remain standing for the invocation offered by the Venerable Dr. John Corse.
Let us pray. Loving and compassionate God, we are gathered together this night for the inaugural meeting of our new town council for Pelham, whose representatives have been duly elected to office. May you bless these, our representatives, with your grace and wisdom, that they may use their gifts to work together in a dignified manner and with a cooperative spirit for the common good of all our citizens. We ask your blessings also on all staff and employees of our town who work to ensure our citizens receive the benefits of living here in Pelham. And we give thanks for the service of our outgoing representatives and ask your blessings on them as they carry on with their lives. Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. Mrs. Barber, you continue to inspire through your passion for music. Thank you for bringing your talented students here this evening, and thank you all for such a beautiful offering of our national anthem. Thank you as well, Dr. Corse, for your words of encouragement. We appreciate your commitment to our Pelham Council and to our community. Ladies and gentlemen, our Member of Parliament, Dean Allison, and our Member of Provincial Parliament, Sam Oosterhoff, send their greetings and their best wishes for this newly elected council. They were unable to attend this evening. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as your municipal clerk, it is my duty, but more than that, it is my privilege to convene this inaugural meeting representing the formal beginning of the 2018 to 2022 council. This evening, I will introduce the members of council for the town of Pelham, each having been duly elected to their respective offices in the municipal election held on October 22nd. Each member will be presented to me by the town of Pelham Chief Administrative Officer, Darren Ottaway. They will take their oath of office, and this oath represents the public declaration of their commitment to our beautiful Pelham community. You are welcome to take photographs at the designated, either at their designated places at the council table or as they're taking their oath or signing their declarations. Following each individual oath, I would ask members of council to return to their designated council places. Mr. Ottaway, please present Mayor Marvin Junkin.
Madam Clerk, I'd like to present to you Mayor-elect Marvin Junkin.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is your declaration.
Oh, wait. Glasses. Sorry. So I'm just reading this now. Okay. I, Marvin Junkin, having been elected to the office of Mayor and Regional Councillor for the municipality of the town of Pelham, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath. Sign it.
Clerk, I present to you Councillor-elect Mike Ciolfi.
I, Mike Ciolfi, having been elected to the office of Councillor of Ward 1 in the municipality of the town of Pelham, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. And I make the solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is the same force and elect as if made under oath.
Madam Clerk, I present to you Councillor-elect Ron Ford.
I, Ron Corr, having been elected to the office of Councillor, Ward 2, in the municipality of the town of Pelham, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or rewards or promise thereof for the execution of this office in bias, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will not disclose any pecuniary interest, directly or indirectly, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. I will make the solemn promise and declaration conscientiously believing to be the truth and knowing that this is of the same force and effect as if under oath.
Madam Clerk, I present Councillor-elect Lisa Haun.
I, Lisa Haun, having been elected to the office of Councillor Ward 3 in the municipality of Town of Pelham, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Madam Clerk, I present Councillor-elect Robert Hildebrandt.
I, Bob Hildebrandt, have been elected to the office of Councillor, Ward 3, in the municipality of the town of Pelham, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise the office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. And I make the solemn promise and declaration conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it is the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Madam Clerk, I present Councillor-elect Jonathan Wing.
I, John Wink, having been elected to the office of Councillor Ward 2 in the municipality of the town of Pelham, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously believing that it to be true, and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Madam Clerk, I present to you Councillor-elect Maryanne Stewart.
I, Maryanne Stewart, having been elected to the office of Councillor, Ward 1, in the municipality of the town of Pelham, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hereby declare each member of council duly installed and present to you now the 2018 to 2022 council for the town of Pelham. Congratulations. Thank you. And now, as part of your Town of Pelham team, I would like to call upon the Chief Administrative Officer, Darren Ottaway. He's going to introduce these members of the senior management team for the Town of Pelham.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. It gives me great opportunity to introduce the members of the senior management team for the Town of Pelham. First, I'd like to introduce to you Ms. Vicki Van Ravensway, Director of Culture, Recreation, and Wellness. I'd like to introduce to you Teresa Quinlan, the Treasurer and Director of Corporate Services. I'd like to introduce Ms. Barb Weens, Director of Planning and Development. I'd like to introduce Jason Marr, Director of Public Works. And finally, I'd like to introduce Mr. or Chief Bob Limburger. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, this evening I'm also honored to present for your introduction, Regional Councillor for the Town of Pelham, Diana Huson. Also present with us this evening is the newly elected District School Board of Niagara trustee for the Town of Pelham and the City of Thorold, Nancy Beamer. And for the Niagara Catholic District School Board, the trustee recently elected is Leanne Prince. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I will now officially turn the meeting over to Mayor Marvin Junkin to resume the balance of the agenda, beginning with his inaugural address. Mayor Junkin.
Well, Council, we did it. And of course, it has to be pointed out that we did it because of you folks. Thank you. The first thing I requested of the clerk, I was wondering if we should have a screen here tonight, but she thought that I would still have a little bit of the glow from the election and I wouldn't have too many things thrown to the podium. So while I lay in bed Tuesday morning after Monday's election, excuse me, I remember asking myself, what the hell have you got yourself into this time? I imagine that I was feeling the same way a Jack Russell dog would feel when, after chasing a 1,000-pound cow around a pasture, and then with a flying leap attaches itself onto the animal's back leg. Now what? It was somewhat overwhelming until I remembered that I wasn't the only candidate who got elected that day, on Monday. Six other people also had been elected to council. Over the last several weeks, I have personally gotten to know these 6 individuals, and I can assure all residents that you have made wise choices for your council. I have found them to be extremely motivated, intelligent citizens, willing to do whatever it is going to take to move our town ahead. As I continue to think of the task ahead, I realize that to help our newly formed group, we would have experienced staff already working in town hall that I knew from my past time on council would be more than willing to give advice to us on established town practices and to accept advice from us as to any new direction that we as a council deemed necessary for the town to advance in. What I had thought of as a mountain was quickly turning into a manageable hill. And as I continued to think of possible resources that we as the new council could count on, it was only natural that my thoughts turned to the organized volunteer groups that do so much to enhance community life in our town. Groups, and I know I'm going to miss one or two, so please forgive me. Groups such as the Kinsmen, Fonthill Lions, Fonthill Lioness, Fenwick Lions, Fenwick Lionesses, Pelham Cares, Pelham Seniors, and again, if I missed any, I'm sorry. And the volunteers that operate the town's sports programs. But there is another group that is also willing to help, and they are what I call the unorganized volunteers. These are individual residents that, for whatever reason, don't feel comfortable in joining any one organization, but still want to contribute their time and expertise to the community. While campaigning, I had so many of these individuals tell me that they were willing to help in a variety of ways. While talking to the other councillors, I realized that they had had similar experiences while conducting their campaigns. In getting ready to take office, I have visited other municipalities' websites and discovered that Niagara-on-the-Lake has on their website a volunteer database. On this page, an individual would put such details as their interest, how many hours they could donate per week or month, and where they would be most comfortable volunteering, whether it be at the library or the community center. As our website gets an overhaul, I believe this would be a welcome addition to go onto it. In closing, I would like to touch again on the election just passed. It is said that the residents speak on Election Day. On Election Day Monday, the residents of the town and also the region did not speak, they shouted. They said in no uncertain terms that they were not happy with the status quo going forward and that they expect changes going forward from the new council. I believe some of these changes include better communication from the town hall. The residents want a clear picture of our financial standing and more public inclusiveness in the town's decision-making. It has been said that first you campaign and then you must learn to govern. I contend that if you try to govern without remembering your campaign conversations and your promises to the electorate, then you are deceiving the people who delivered your success. I am very confident that with the guidance of town staff and the support of the community, that this council will turn the challenge we face into solutions that will benefit the residents and will result in making Pelham an even greater place to live in. Thank you. Councillor Wink, and seconded by Bob Hildebrandt, Councillor Hildebrandt, to approval of the balance of the agenda. Well, be it resolved that the agenda for the 2018-2022 council inaugural meeting be and is hereby approved. All those in favor? Yes, motion passes. Before we do any other business, I have to ask, does any councillor have any pecuniary interest in general nature thereof to declare? Okay. Please note, Madam Clerk, that no one has any. Resolution to confirm advisory committee. So that was moved from, by Councillor Stewart and seconded by Councillor Kaur. The resolution, okay. Be it resolved that council do hereby confirm the below listed advisory committee, and that staff be directed to seek application from interested citizens for the committee for appointment in January 2019. These advisory committees are Town of Pelham Library Board, Joint Accessibility Advisory Committee, Pelham Active Transportation Committee, Pelham Seniors Advisory Committee, Pelham Summerfest Committee, Pelham Public Art Committee, Pelham Beautification Committee, Pelham Committee of Adjustments and Property Standards, Pelham Fence Viewer, Pelham Livestock Valuer and Townkeeper, Pelham Meridian Community Center Hospitality Advisory Committee, and the Pelham Meridian Community Center User Group Committee. So these, this will be posted on the town's website with this notice, and I also hope, Madam Clerk, that we can run this in the local paper and get as many eyes on this as possible, and hopefully, as in the past, we'll have committed citizens join these committees. Thank you. Any questions for me? We'll vote. All in favor of this motion? Okay, motion passed. So be it motion put forward by Councilman Hildebrandt, seconded by Councilor Wink. Be it resolved that the council of the town of Pelham, having given due consideration to the following bylaw, do now read a first, second, and third time, and do pass same, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized be signed and sealed to the bylaw. Bylaw number 4054, 2018, being a bylaw to provide for the appointment of a deputy mayor and to set the rotation schedule for deputy mayor for the 2018-22 council term, and to repeal and replace bylaw number 3562, 2014. So, our first deputy mayor is going to be Lisa Haun. Now, Lisa will be the deputy mayor for 8 months, at which time it will be followed in alphabetical order by the other members of council. Any questions from any councilor? So the motion is carried. And so we have a vote, all in favor of the vote. Now the motion is carried. So, a motion put forward by Councillor Ciolfi and seconded by Councillor Haun. Be it resolved that the following bylaw be read a first, second, and third time and passed. Being a bylaw number 4055, 2018, to adopt, ratify, and confirm the proceedings of council of the town of Pelham at its inaugural meeting held on the 3rd day of December 2018. Shall we vote on that? All in favor? Okay, motion passes. Okay. Motion put forward by Councillor Ford, seconded by Councillor Stewart. Be it resolved that this regular meeting of December 3rd, 2018 be adjourned until the next regular meeting scheduled for December 17th, 2018, or 2018, yes, at 6:30 p.m. Any discussion? Motion passes. Wait for it.